Warner Brothers just keeps on putting out more and more bad news about all their DC properties. Hell, it's so frequent I might have to start vlogging just to keep this updated. What an incompetent company. Toby Emmerich is a friggin' moron. His latest bullshit is that DC is focusing less on a shared universe. Why are they doing this? Because they say they are done following the Marvel playbook. But the funny thing is, they never played by that playbook at all. Otherwise, they would have started off with solo films. If they believe for a second they ever followed that playbook, we're in a world of hurt because they're stupider than I ever thought. Fans everywhere said years ago that Warner Brothers should start with solo films. It was WB that said no. Their greedy asses wanted their Avengers equivalent right now, instead of build up to it. Well, once they had Zack Snyder go down that road, they should have just let him finish his vision. In fact, they should have marketed his vision as the 5-film arc that it truly was. People would have been more apt to understand the quick progression. Then fans would be ready for a reboot since Snyder's vision actually had an ending, and WB could apply everything they learned along the way to the new universe that they're creating. And fans everywhere would not have lost their faith in the company. The worst thing when talking about Justice League or Snyder or anything is that June 14th, 2019 is the original release date for the Justice League sequel. That means if they just stayed the course, they would have been almost done anyway, and by this point, people would have begun to see how all of these films are so interconnected, and they would have seen what the dream sequence in BVS meant, what the nightmare sequence in BVS meant. Everything would have started clicking with audiences. It would have slowly built the momentum. But no, WB hacked up Snyder's vision, so those films underperformed. And then what came next? Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Those were successful. And why? Because those were solo films. We learned to care about those characters. But these idiots at Warner Brothers think this means don't concentrate on a shared universe and just concentrate on the filmmakers and standalone films. Fans everywhere want to see Justice League together. They want to see the Justice Society together. They want to see Batman interact with the Justice League. They want them to be connected. It was the connection that snowballed each new Marvel movie into a record-breaking business. Besides, they said the same exact thing after the Nolan Batman films. They claimed DC films were just too big for a shared universe, so they made Green Lantern separate. Well, how did that all work out? Basically, we're rehashing the exact same mistakes they made in the past. I love DC more than any other property out there. But I gotta say, I really hope Birds of Prey, the Joker, and the Batman are all disappointments on every level. If these morons think they found the winning formula, then we're screwed. I gotta point out, a hit here and there means nothing. Since the 80s, WB has gotten, maybe 8 DC movies, right? 8 since the 80s, 5 of which were Batman. The others, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Superman. Then a plethora of flops, including Batman, Superman, Jonah Hex, Green Lantern, Catwoman, Steel, Superman, Losers, and I'm sure I'm missing a couple right offhand. So in the 30 years, they've gotten 8 right. Now, just in the last 10 years alone, Marvel got 23 right. Let that sink in. WB and all the execs there can suck it. WB is literally doing everything to destroy all the hopes for DC fans. With all that being said, now let's move on to some more recent bad news and rumors from this turd of a company. Because they can't get everything right with Henry Cavill and get new contracts signed, now they're considering replacing the Superman franchise with a Supergirl franchise. I like Supergirl, she's great. But the problem with Supergirl is the same problem I foresaw happening to The Flash. The character is already loved on television. So when they go a different direction in film, it will anger fans of the show. People were already mad Grant Gustin was not going to play Flash in the film. They will face the same opposition when Melissa Benoist isn't cast for the Supergirl film. They're already dividing audiences right out the gate, and that is the last thing that WB of all companies can afford to do. Another rumor floating around is that a Snyder cut won't be released because Ava DuVernay has a problem with Zack Snyder, and she wants the New Gods film to actually introduce Darkseid. I can't speak on whether she likes Snyder or not. There's no way for me to verify that. But, her wanting to introduce Darkseid in New Gods, that makes sense. But at the same time, I still want to see the Snyder cut. But bottom line is this. If you can have Supergirl or Flash in TV and movies with different actors and not think you're going to confuse people, then why can't you have Darkseid on a Snyder cut on Blu-ray while you have Darkseid in the New Gods in theaters? I mean, what draws the line in WB's mind? Who knows? But I'll be honest, after A Wrinkle in Time, I have zero confidence that Ava DuVernay can pull off a New Gods film. Patty Jenkins also released a new image of Wonder Woman recently. The picture was beautiful, the iridescence was a little bit distracting, but I mean overall it was a beautiful picture, but every time I look at it, I cannot stop thinking she looks like a golden saint from Saint Seiya. Don't get me wrong, I can't wait for the first trailer, but all I see now is Golden Saint Diana. WB also announced that they will have no Hall H presence at San Diego Comic-Con. This has to make you wonder if they know people hate them right now. The DC universe is such a mess because of these morons. This is an opportunity to repair what they've broken. They could show a trailer of Wonder Woman or Birds of Prey, or better than anything else, show that they actually have a plan. But no, of course not. And now here's what I consider some of the worst news. Even though it is a separate division, it has been announced that the new Swamp Thing series has already been canceled. When I heard this, at first I was relieved to hear it wasn't Warner Brothers' fault for a change. They claimed that there was a clerical error in North Carolina where Swamp Thing films that caused the cancellation. Apparently the error ended up causing WB to lose $26 million in tax rebate money. North Carolina only gave them $14 million instead of the agreed amount of $40 million. Yeah, that sounds pretty bad. But before I could even finish this video, North Carolina came out and said that this was not true at all, that they have the signed contracts from WB and everything went down as planned. So who do we believe? It's tough to know, but given Warner's track record, I'm betting it's those idiots that lied to everybody again. What sucks most about it is, again, that the television division is now starting to disappoint on the level of the film division. We've lost all faith in WB. What is the point of paying for a streaming service if you cancel the original content? I can get everything else on your streaming service elsewhere. In fact, I already own every single movie, every single show that you put on there, except for your original content. Being a DC fan has never been harder thanks to Warner Brothers. WB shits on DC, they shit on the characters, and worst of all, they shit on all the fans. So, is there a glimmer of hope anywhere in this mess? I think so. It seems Black Adam may finally have found a director. Negotiations are underway with director Wam Kale Sarah. Dwayne Johnson just recently worked with him on Jungle Cruise, so they probably have a pretty good working relationship. Then there's also Jeff Johns, who actually, despite what some believe, would have been the shining hope before he was given a sinking ship. But as of now, he is still writing the new Green Lantern Corps film. He is the brains behind Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Shazam. Even though each film had different screenwriters, they took directly from Jeff Johns' stories. So there you have it. See you next time after the next batch of horrible news from Warner Brothers. So I'm guessing I'll see you tomorrow. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for future content.